Hello and welcome to the bi-weekly IoTeXperts live stream brought to you by the folks at IoTeX. My name is Robert Wolf, and I will be your host today and every 2 weeks as we take a deeper look at the IoTeX developer ecosystem and explore the many things going on in and around this exciting space. Each of these live streams will start with developer updates, followed by in-depth conversation about IoTeX and our growing developer ecosystem. Joined by featured experts, we will discuss a plethora of topics tailored for developers, showcase opportunities, and explore resources and bring new and exciting IoTeX developments to light. Each of these events will end or finish with an audience Q&A. Of course, we will take questions in the YouTube chat as they come in. Now, this week, we have an extremely special guest, the CEO of myJeenie, which is me. So I will actually be handing over the hosting duties of this episode to Giuseppe, our co-host or very well-known guest who has been joining us for the last several episodes, who I am told has a bunch of questions for me to answer. Now, as a reminder, if you enjoy this broadcast, please make sure to destroy that like button and don't forget to subscribe to IoTeX YouTube channel for more content like this. Now, let's bring Giuseppe in here. I usually say smash that like button, but my colleague actually mentioned someone said destroy, and it was kind of funny. So destroy that like button. Giuseppe, all right. So you're hosting this one.
How are you?
It's all you. I'm good.
Thank you. Well, thanks for having me, and thanks for letting me host, and then thanks for being a guest today.
I'm the guest today. Yes.
Awesome. So yeah, I mean, this is actually pretty cool because obviously, we knew about myJeenie a little while ago. We've been talking about this for a while. You guys are finally, ready to talk a little bit more publicly about it. You just became one of our latest delegates in the IoTeX ecosystem. So lots of things going on. I would say let's start from the beginning, right? First of all, let's talk about what myJeenie is, what you guys are building, how did it get started, and then let's move on from there.
So actually, first, if you don't mind, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself.
Well, you never did in all the episodes we've done together?
I haven't really told anyone about kind of like my whole backstory and kind of how it will lead into myJeenie. How about that? Is that
all
okay?
right? Let's do that. Yeah, I love that.
All right,
let's
cool. Yeah. So, my name's Robert Wolf. You can see there on the screen, Robert Wolf. I'm a studied electrical engineer out of UCSD. That's University of California, San Diego. Got my bachelor's in electrical engineering. And from there, I actually went on to write technical documentation for a company called Linaro, which focuses on enabling Linux on ARM. So if you're not familiar with ARM is an architecture, a chipset architecture. And from there, after doing technical documentation, which was really nice because you can see all these boards I have behind me. These are all single board computers. The engineers would write all this crazy code and documents, and then they would hand it to me. And I got to kind of experience everything, right? So you get these kind of not so well-written documents, and then you have to make them well-written. And in the process, you have to test out all the hardware and all the software. So this was a really, really awesome introduction into the tech space, a really awesome first job. And for those of you who are watching and say, oh, technical writing, that sucks. Honestly, it was kind of a blessing. Like,
it's fun.
Yeah, and people treasure documentation. So, it's a kind of a joke in the tech space, like, oh, hey, where's the documentation? So not only are you a hero in the documentation space if you write good documents, but you also get to experience a bunch of cool stuff on the way. Now, while writing documentation for Linaro, Linux on ARM, I was eventually transitioned into community management, still kept my engineering title, and eventually moved into a company called ARM. So I actually ended up working for ARM. That is actually still my day job. So I do still work for ARM. And during this process, I traveled a lot. Okay. And so this is where the history of myJeenie comes into play. So traveling a lot, you'd think that over time you start kind of getting better at flying. The fear eventually fades. This just becomes a normalcy. And so I fly a lot. I'm okay with it. But I never got over it. I always had like a dreadful fear of flying. And I'm an engineer too, right? So all these triple redundancies, safety mechanisms in planes, and all the engineering that goes into it. But I never got over it. And so, one day I was on a flight and we were about to take off. And if anyone's ever seen that movie, Final Destination.
I hated that part when the plane blows up.
The premonition. And so this guy
Yeah.
goes crazy on the plane, and he's like, I got to get off this plane. And he does. And then everyone on the plane dies. And I'm like, okay, well, I had this premonition of my own. I'm thinking, oh, shit, this is it. This is the last flight I'm going to take. This is my last day alive. I genuinely thought this. Now, call it paranoia, whatever. But there were all these things I wanted to do in like that 20, 30-minute period while I was waiting on the plane and waiting to take off. And I thought, okay, well, I have some money hidden around my house. I want to tell my girlfriend I love her. I want to tell my mom some things. And I'm like, but if I send them all this stuff and then I don't crash, I'm just going to look silly. Like, it's going to look stupid. I'm writing all this like sentimental stuff and nothing happened. So how can I send messages or send data in the form of messages or anything into the future, but under the parameters that I choose? So I want to send data into the future, but only when I'm gone. I want to send data into the future. I want to extend what we call right now the mortal timeline, the mortal social media timeline. I want to extend this into what we call the post-mortem social media timeline. Okay. This is where myJeenie came from. And originally I called it Death Tag. Bad name. Can't market Death Tag. Over time,
myJeenie is more appealing, I guess.
Yes. So the idea of myJeenie came around there. And this was around the year 2017 or so. And it was just an idea for several years. And it wasn't until 2021 where I actually acted on the idea. I hired our first developer, formed an executive team, and here we are today with a working. I actually have a working app on my phone. I'm not going to pull it up, but I'll just kind of show you right here. There's the little myJeenie app right there, that little black one with the lamp. Right. Fully functional prototype. We call it the alpha phase. And so, yeah, we're having a lot of fun.
Awesome. I mean, that's great. And I was actually on Twitter the other day. Somebody called myJeenie the Facebook of Web3, but I think there is so much more to it. I'm not sure if Facebook is catering towards your future selves.
It might have been Wrong Again who posted that. He's commenting on all our stuff. Yeah. So, I mean, myJeenie is so much more than a social media experience. And I guess this is a good time to talk about everything that we're offering, right? So myJeenie is about creating, protecting, and passing down your digital legacy. Okay. So it goes beyond just social media, fun, and games. What we're doing is we're giving you a digital companion who will live on in your name. All right. And this is your little genie, right? And so your genie will take messages from you to the future. He will store passwords, manage your passwords. So there'll be a password management system and lockbox with extreme security applied to it. We can do time capsules that will allow you to create shared events and memories, and then even hopefully eventually store cryptocurrency in these time capsules. We hope that, we could do something like 5 buddies go out camping and each put a Bitcoin into the time capsule. Last one alive gets to keep the 5 Bitcoin. All sorts of fun stuff like this. But time capsules, we have a journal feature. This would probably be the thing that's most similar to the Facebook timeline when you post stuff to your page. But our journal is all private, so everything inside the journal is kept private. But then you can inherit individual posts to individuals. So say you had a bad day and you got mad at your mom. So you journal this, right? But then you inherit it to your mom when you die. So your mom knows how you were genuinely feeling that day. And maybe, you really did want to make amends. And that's your way of kind of letting her live on in peace. So there's all sorts of different ways for you to protect your legacy. And then, of course, give your loved ones what we call the emotional insurance and assurance that I feel, is only really allowed to kind of upper tier people who can afford lawyers and things like that.
Yeah, makes sense. And actually, it's sort of brings me to the next question, which is, from a more tech point of view, right? How does the blockchain, Web3, or this type of technology, ties into what you're doing? I mean, I'm sure that doing this in a Web3 type of way, it seems like it fits perfectly with.
Yeah. So when I first started pitching this idea to the folks in the crypto space, several questions arose, right? Like originally we had different ways of monetizing. Now, just to let you all know, this application is completely free to use. All right. So we're not building something that will harvest your data. We're not building something that will cost you money. Of course, if you are impatient and you want to really go ham on stuff, there will be subscription models in there, but for the most part, the entire app and everything in it is free to use. We are tackling the social-fi and machine-fi areas of the Web3 space, and IoTeX is the perfect candidate blockchain for us to do this on. Now, when I say social-fi, we want to incentivize and monetize people's data, but we want to pay the users for it. So as opposed to what we're already used to, this is going to require a paradigm shift in how us as humans think and consume social media platforms. So when you think about all the social media platforms out there, Twitter, Facebook, the previous MySpace, Instagram, you just kind of accept the fact that this company is giving me a feature and I am giving them my data. I am paying for this. This app is not free. I'm paying for this app with my data. Now, what we're trying to do here is enable SocialFi. And with SocialFi, you get to opt in. So upon downloading myJeenie and utilizing it, by default, all of your data is private. Now, what you can do is you can enable the SocialFi experience. And through that, we will pay you for your data. And this will be paid for through the IoTeX blockchain network. Now, we're still figuring out the legalities behind issuing a utility token. Can't talk much about that right now, but it will either be through, of course, IoTeX or some utility token that should have value on the network. And so we want to incentivize people to give us their data. We want to utilize this data to make their experience better, but we're not just going to take it for free. You're not getting paid in features. You're getting paid in real money. And this is our goal. So that's the SocialFi experience. Now, the MachineFi experience will allow us to also utilize this app. Now, as it is a lifestyle app, we want you to live long, happy lives, but we also want you to be prepared for the inevitable. So we will have some form of health aspects to the app, maximizing your activities and getting compensated for this as well. And this is where the MachineFi aspects come in, monitoring certain things that you do, locational data, stuff like that, where we can monetize that for you and pay you out for being healthy, a healthy individual.
That's awesome. I mean, and it fits also, really well with what IoTeX is doing with MachineFi, the methodology, the mission as well, and, the shift in paradigm, like you were mentioning. Another thing that I think it would be interesting and important to mention, maybe for all the other developers also watching this, is that, myJeenie is also part of our Halo Grants program.
Yes.
And I wanted to, briefly talk about that, see how your experience has been, and see, how IoTeX in a way sort of like helped you bootstrap this project.
So first off, I'm going to look right into the camera for this. The folks at IoTeX are just wonderful people, right? I mean, I've been in the crypto space since 2017. And for the most part, my experience in crypto has been very pleasant. I've done work or worked on or experienced a dozen plus blockchains at a developer level. And I have not yet found a blockchain and developer group as friendly, as welcoming, and as supportive as the IoTeX community. They're just so willing and ready to just help you dive right in. I mean, Jeremy, who joins us every other week on this call to give us the Discord minutes. I mean, I chime in every freaking morning, sorry for the language, and it's just flooded. The Discord chat is flooded with him answering questions nonstop. If you want to get FaceTime with one of the developers, like if you want to launch a delegate node, they're just willing to go help you out and get on a call with you and sit there and help you launch these nodes. Now, I mean, I can't say that, all of a sudden, if 5,000 companies wanted to launch a delegate node, that IoTeX would be able to source that or resource that. But I mean,
we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. So far, my experience has just been utterly pleasant. I mean, and that's why we chose to build on IoTeX.
Awesome. I mean, thank you. And I agree, we can say it live that IoTeX rocks. It's
IoTeX rocks. Nice, super undervalued as a company, undervalued in visibility. I think, people should be talking about it more.
Yeah, and they will, I'm sure, and that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Going through the Halo grants, I think it was an interesting opportunity, and I also invite anybody else that has an interesting idea for maybe a MachineFi project, even a DeFi project, an NFT project. Obviously, we mostly focus on MachineFi because that's the, I think, juiciest thing that we're building right now. But everybody is encouraged to just go for it, and we'll be happy to help out.
So sorry, I tangented off a little bit because we were talking about the Halo grants, right? But yeah, so the Halo grant experience has been great. We got granted, I mean, it's all publicly visible. I believe $50,000 paid off over the course of several milestones. So the way it works is you apply, you state what your company does or what your project plans to build, you set milestones, and then you request an amount that you think you need for these milestones. Now, of course, the Halo grant is not intended to fund your entire company and your entire project from start to finish. It's intended to complement or supplement some of your needs, right? So, huge thanks to the Halo grant program. There's a person, an entity, an alias named Grizzly, who manages us.
Shout out to Grizzly.
Shout out to Grizzly. Awesome team there. And he gives us our own Telegram channel where he keeps us updated. We provide updates to them. And it's a very personal experience. So far, it's been great.
Yeah, and honestly, we do have a lot of very interesting projects that are part of the Halo Grants program at the moment. And I'm very much looking forward to, start bringing them and introducing them to our audience, one by one, and see what interesting things very young people are building around the world. So that's coming up next.
By the way, we didn't talk about it, but I believe, you can qualify for anywhere between like $1 to $200,000. I think that's the cap. So, if you're building a project and we qualified for $50,000, but if we supersede our milestones, just do outrageous progress, all sorts of cool stuff, you can reapply, I believe, or get the amount that you qualified for upped. They're willing to work with you on these types of things.
Yeah, and as it is, in our whole ecosystem, I think best idea wins, and so it's all about what you can do. So that's really exciting. I wanted to ask you a couple of more things. I mean, the other cool thing that happened this week is that myJeenie is a new delegate in our ecosystem, and actually. Well, yeah. Well, we were doing office hours. You were talking about something cool, that exchanging votes with other people in the ecosystem, and I think it's a good way of first of all build camaraderie, friendships, and incentivize people to just be part of this great ecosystem. So, what are your plans as a delegate? And how do you plan on contributing to the network and the IoTeX community moving forward?
So, I mean, number one, the delegate program that IoTeX has is awesome. The process of signing up, becoming a delegate is fairly straightforward. The tools they provide you for getting your nodes set up are very nice. And again, as I mentioned, the support that the company offers in terms of actual personal support is there. So very great. Now, in terms of what myJeenie wants to bring to the community, we want to be a part of it, right? Like we want to be involved. We want to take part in the voting processes. We want to take part in how we can make the blockchain better. So definitely plan on us being there, being present, and being aware of what is happening on the blockchain and how we can contribute to that. We want to contribute to the community. So, anything that myJeenie does, you bet that we will be making sure that the IoTeX community is taken care of. So if we do issue a utility token, the myJeenie ecosystem, the IoTeX ecosystem, our voters, and I believe we noted it on our delegate node, our voters will be taken care of. So we want to make sure that, if a token is issued, a large amount of that goes out to the ecosystem, and that our voters and the IoTeX community is taken care of. And number three, hopefully our company grows, right? I mean, we have 10 people right now in the company, which I think is a lot, to be honest. But we have 10 people in the company and we're building stuff, right? And so the stuff we're building, everything that we can make public will be made public on the IoTeX developer portal. So we'll share that banner. I still have the admin abilities for the call here, so I'm posting these banners and stuff. But But yeah, so the new IoTeX Developers Hub. So I mean, the stuff that we build and the stuff that we do, everything we do on IoTeX, anything that we're able to make public, we want to contribute back. IoTeX has given us so much. The community has given us so much. We want to make sure that we give back to the community and the developers as much as possible as well. The work we do will not go underutilized in terms of reuse.
100%. I mean, that's great to hear, obviously. And I was actually thinking, about the 10 people team. It would be fun maybe later on in the future as your company grows to maybe start, maybe do another episode with myJeenie, what has happened in the next 6 months or 1 year, and see how you guys grew and see the other founding members of the team. I think it'll be fun.
We onboarded an amazing chief operating officer. And we have an extensive amount of visits in terms of investors over the course of the next 6 months. And so if our needs are met, we know exactly where we will be going with the company, who we will be hiring, how many people we need, and how much money we know that will cost. So I hope in the next episode that we have, the team will have grown substantially, and we will be able to talk about all the cool stuff that we've done on the IoTeX side of things.
Yeah, that's amazing. And how does this development look like in a little bit more detail? Like, are there maybe new features that you're talking about or thinking about, or?
So we've split the development. We've split the development up in, let me count it, 4 phases. So the development process for us started at the MVP phase. So we call this the minimal viable product. This was a private release that basically just got given to the employees of myJeenie. And we were able to kind of see the functionality, get it on the phone, send messages into the future, some of the base core functionality. After the MVP phase, we go into what's called the closed alpha testing phase. Now, if you join our Discord server, I'll post that up here. We will be, let me copy it here too. We will be offering people in our Discord server. We'll be launching a form for anyone who wants to get involved in our closed alpha testing program. We plan on inviting roughly 50 people, at the most 100, into this phase.
I signed up for it.
Yes, you signed up, but we'll send out an official form to actually collect things properly. But we'll invite people in. Right now, it is iOS only. Unfortunately, sorry. We will launch with both iOS and Android. But this closed alpha phase is intended to collect bugs, feedback, perspectives from people. But for the most part, all of the features will be enabled at this point. Most of the features, I should say 90%. After this goes the open beta. So open beta phase, we actually have a company sprint here where I am in San Diego. On November 3rd through November 7th. We have people flying in from the UK, from New York, from Sacramento. The whole company will be here in a big Airbnb, and we are going to work nonstop 16 hours a day for like 5 days straight, basically crunching out, figuring out exactly what we need for our open beta launch. And the open beta launch is when you will be able to download it on the Apple App Store for full functionality. And then comes the official launch. So, for the most part, the open beta is like what you could call like the V1, but the official app will be the V2 at the official launch. So, and that'll be sometime in Q1, Q2 of next year.
Q1 and Q2 of next year. Okay, that's awesome. I mean, yeah, definitely can't wait to see it, come alive, and can't wait to send actually messages to myself in the future. So let's see. I was thinking, given this, the open nature of our IoTeX community, the developers community, even you were saying, like a lot of the stuff that you want to share publicly will be shared and maybe added to the developers portal to help other developers that are learning and maybe they're growing within our ecosystem. How can a developer in the IoTeX community get involved with your project?
So number one is testing. Right. So developers have a keen eye for, things that could be wrong in your app. So, number one is testing. If you're a developer, and especially an iOS developer familiar with applications, please sign up for our closed alpha and or participate in our open beta. We need as many people testing this out as possible. We need as many perspectives and as many people telling us what we've done wrong, what feels awkward on the app. Number two is, as I mentioned, we do plan on hiring. I will be giving my best effort, as well as my COO. We will be getting funding. I mean, this just has to happen. And our team will grow substantially, and we will be hiring a blockchain developer. So if anything, multiple developers will need on our list. We have like 3 AI ML developers. We have several backend or Ruby Rails developers, front end developers, QA testers. So we'll be hiring a bunch of developers. So the earlier you get involved in our ecosystem, the earlier you get involved with us. Just like any startup, upon success, we will be tapping into our network before we tap into any sort of talent acquisitions, third party that we'll be hiring outside. We want to get to know our developers. We want to get to know the people in the network, and we want to tap into the talent that's close at hand rather than further away.
That's awesome. And it actually, it just made me think, it really ties in with one of the new features that eventually will be rolling out in the developers portal, that will allow devs to just create their own profile with their own projects and, sort of like grow their own, showcase their own skills, So maybe, projects like myJeenie or other projects will be able to already start sourcing or talent, or maybe reaching out to the people that stand out the most, which I think is a super cool feature.
Absolutely. And you can find me again in the Discord server. I'm also in the IoTeX server, Fixer. So join us on the myJeenie server. Join us on the IoTeX server. I'm going to post it right here. We have this banner, and of course Jeremy's Discord minutes will be coming up in a minute. But yeah, join us there. I'm Fixer, FIXXXER.
Another one.
3 X's, XXX.
3, 4, yeah.
Yeah. So join us on Discord. Reach out to me. If you want to get involved, if you want to just get to know us on a more personal level, happy to engage, both for IoTeX and for myJeenie.
That sounds great. And yeah, like you were saying, we're gonna bring Jeremy up in just a couple of minutes. I do have one more question for you, but before I wrap that up, I wanted to ask. I see there is obviously activity in the audience, but if somebody has a specific or direct question for Robert, while we have him here live, just feel free to post it in the comments, and then obviously we'll take care of that. I mean, it's up to Robert, but I'm pretty sure that exactly he would answer it. My last question was about the white paper, because it would be nice, obviously, besides the information that you've shared with us here in the live stream, for people to actually go through the white paper, learn a little bit more, read stuff in a little bit more detail instead of watching Netflix tonight or whatnot. When is the white paper going to be available, if there is one?
So the white paper is written. There is one. It's 100% complete. The only thing, I'm going to pull it up here. I'm going to give a little teaser. Actually, can I share my screen?
Okay. Yeah.
So the one thing I will say is that the reason we haven't published it yet is because we are waiting on some art. We don't want to just publish a bunch of words. So we want our white paper to look really cool too. And it was supposed to release on October 15th. But we had some delays. So let me share my screen. I'm not going to share everything because I do want it to be still exciting when we actually publish it. Window. So here we go. myJeenie white paper. Fun, exciting.
Okay.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Let me get rid of these things here. All right. So this is the front page. We're still deciding on which one to do. You can see kind of like the different where the white paper 2022 is. We have our summary where we talk about all the different features we have, an introduction, prelude, story and time, why this is important for humanity, why it's important for each individual, lowering the barrier to entry to protect your digital legacy. And then, of course, an introduction as to, what we are. myJeenie is a software as a service, mobile first application, though we will have a web platform that enables people to inherit information, digital assets, videos, messages, photos, cryptocurrencies, and so much more. So we provide everything in this. And then, of course, a list of all of our features. So we have core features, legacy features, estate features, and earn features. So you'll be able to stake to earn. You'll be able to stack for data. So if you want more data, you'll be able to literally just stack coins inside of our network. And then stacking coins in our network earns you more data. Again, we do plan on being fully free, but of course, data costs us money. So we're still figuring out how much that base data is going to be, 10 gigabytes, 25 gigabytes. How much data can you store with us? Because we're holding your data for 100 years, right? If anything, as long as possible. And so holding that data for a long period of time does cost us money. You will have a base amount. It will be free, but you can also earn more by simply stacking IoTeX with us. So hold your IoTeX in our wallets, and we will give you more data for holding with us. And then we go into just describing what every feature is. Now, again, I'm just scanning through this really quickly. If you paused, you could read it. Pause the video later and you can read all this. But that's the white paper. So hopefully we did just get a recent drop of art. And I'm told we should have everything ready by today or tomorrow. So then it's just up to our marketing team to get.
Soon.
Yeah. So we hopefully get all of that integrated into the white paper, all the art and graphics added back in. And then we'll go from there. You know, another thing, we do have a website, and I'll share my screen again here. But I would say don't go there yet. Too much stuff is broken. I'm going to be honest. Like, too much stuff we haven't finished it yet. So it's there, myJeenie.com. You can still go get a great idea about what the features are. Again, we have graphics and stuff to add to this. Our official launch of the website and white paper was supposed to be October 15th. Again, we're probably a week, at the most 2 weeks delayed on this. So if you check back in about a week or 2 weeks, you will definitely notice huge differences. Now, again, also, if you are interested in the white paper, you can already sign up here. So if you want the white paper, we'll notify you when it's ready. If you want to sign up to our wait list, you can sign up here and sign up to our wait list. So we will notify you when the app is on the store. And that's pretty much it.
I mean, yeah, couldn't have asked for more. That's perfect.
There you go.
Great. I don't see any major questions for Robert in the comments. There is, though, a question about actual release date, or we have a date for a MachineFi application. MachineFi is more of a methodology than an actual, application or something. There can be different MachineFi applications that will be released, but that's up to the people that develop them, obviously. I would say, yeah, let's probably start unleashing Jeremy and check out what's been happening on Discord in the past couple of weeks. Robert, what do you think?
Yeah, let's do it. You're finishing the episode off. I'm not hosting this one, so it's all you.
Oh, now you're just gonna sit back and
I'm
relax.
Sit back and relax. Yes, I'm gonna enjoy.
Well, all right. Well, in that case, thank you. I mean, it was obviously great, sharing about myJeenie, and I'm sure we'll talk about it a lot more on future episodes to come.
Yeah, if I may, real quick, just thank you, everyone. Thank you for watching, whether you're watching this live, on demand. Your support is greatly appreciated, whether it be in the form of joining us on Discord, participating in chats, and just hanging out with us, downloading the app, participating in our alpha test, or voting for our delegate node. So, all of these things help us become a more successful company and up our chances of success. So thank you all for watching. And thank you, Giuseppe, for hosting.
Robert, thank you. It was great. I mean, I always have a great time talking to you. So I would say it's 3-1. Time for Jeremy's minutes.
Let's do it. We need to get a little splash screen that comes up.
Yeah, he should have his own jingle, his own graphics. It's like there's a lot of stuff to do.
Let's put his custom banner up here too. Discord Jeremy's Discord minutes. That's what it means. Discord Jeremy's Discord minutes.
Exactly.
Maybe lower the volume of your mic just a little bit.
Okay, 1 second.
Yeah, no problem. Nice. So while Jeremy does that, I think we had a pretty fun conversation on office hours today. And if you guys actually do go on the general chat in Discord, you will see a lot of people share their office spaces. So for the first time, we got to see Jeremy's office space and Robert's, the other side of Robert's office, which I thought was pretty cool. Nice setup.
Is this better? Test.
Yeah, it's a little bit better. I would say it's still a little bit high, but what do you think, Robert?
I think it's good.
All right, let's go for it. So, Jeremy, what's been happening on Discord for the past couple of weeks?
Well, Giuseppe, there's been quite a lot of discussion going on in the.
Sorry, real quick. The chat is saying that it's still way too loud.
Okay.
Sorry.
Like half, 50%.
Now you're good.
Nah, that's
Now it's good?
perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great.
Perfect. Okay, so basically on IoTeX Discord on the past couple of weeks, the main topic of discussion was focused around the IoTeX core development and the issue that happened regarding the staking and it's not, don't worry, I don't want to cause any alarm. It's not that your staking buckets are not safe. It's that some node operators, when they run their nodes, they encountered a bug. Let me share my screen real quick. I'll show you what the error looks like. Basically, do you see what I'm showing you guys?
In a way, yes.
No, let me make.
We can-
No, I'm gonna make. Yeah, I'm gonna make you big. Solo layout. There you
Okay. Okay. Basically, so this is a mess here. Provided one of the example errors that comes up when you try and sync your node. So basically, Mess is one of our node operators. He's active in the node operator channel, and he posted a message that his node failed to sync. So he got this message saying failed to commit block with the error message, failed to validate block with working set in state DB, delta state digest doesn't match. So this is something that happened recently in the past 2 weeks. I don't know all the details. However, it's the issue happens when the IoTeX core server restarts at a certain state. So I think it has something to do with, I think it's a bug regarding delegates and the delegate names. So recently this error occurred. I don't know all the details, so I don't want to, say something that's not true on video. But basically, this caused the nodes to stop syncing. Some nodes, not all nodes were affected. So basically, if this error happened and all nodes were affected, the whole IoTeX blockchain would go down. This did not happen. Only some nodes were affected. However, we have like this Node Pilot. Node Pilot is a project on the Pocket network. Pocket is like Anchor. If you're aware of the Anchor network, Pocket is like the Anchor network. They provide RPC endpoints. So we have been working with them to figure out how to best serve them. And one of the solutions was to provide a patch. So basically, if you go to the IoTeX Bootstrap repository on GitHub, so you have to go here. I'll show you how to get there. So basically, you go to IoTeX project, IoTeX Bootstrap. This is, by the way, this is for the people who are watching who want to fix their nodes right now. We've already posted a message on the IoTeX node operator channel here. If you go down, there's a message by Kevin here that if you have issues with syncing, feel free to ask Shanhua. And Shanhua here posted a script, a link to a script. So the reason I'm showing this to you guys here is that this link doesn't work anymore. So if you have this issue and you'd like to fix it, you can't follow this link anymore. Please go to IoTeX project, IoTeX Bootstrap. You have to change branch to patch staking. I think this was something to do with Binance delegate changing the name. This is about the time it happened. I think because Binance is one of the largest. I might be wrong here. I don't. I wasn't given all the details by the IoTeX core developers, but I'm just connecting the dots here. So I think what they did is they changed their name of the delegate. This is just something that they were asking how to do, and I think they figured out a way. And I think the way they figured out to change the name wasn't fully supported by the IoTeX core software. And I think they broke something. So basically, there has to be a patch to fix the syncing of the nodes. So if you go to the patch staking repository of IoTeX Bootstrap, you go here. You go to you can actually see the patch notes here. So remember, patch staking branch of the IoTeX Bootstrap repository in the 184 patch folder. This is something that's coming up actually recently. The 1.8.4 node will be being released. I was told that it was going to be happening today, but I haven't been given official information otherwise. So it might be happening today, maybe later today, maybe next day. But basically, it's very close to being released. And once it's released, you can actually test it now. If you're eager to test it out, you can actually use the 1.8.4 release candidate version. So I prepared a little script I wanted to show you guys.
Jeremy, I heard they were, sorry for interrupting. I heard, now of course I could be wrong, I heard they were still working out some bugs for that release.
Okay.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, it's not 100% official, and actually we were just we're gonna have a blog post on the developers portal that describes this in a little bit more detail with the updated link to the patch and how to basically follow the instruction to fix this issue for the people that actually did encounter it. And it's going to be released pretty soon, so let's maybe just wait on the core team to actually
update with caution right now. Basically, update your node with caution. Otherwise, wait for this blog and stuff.
Or just give us a sec. I mean, it might be ready, later tonight or tomorrow, or in the next couple of days latest. I mean, I think the team is working really, is really focused on just fixing these as soon as possible. So I will just wait another second.
Yeah, this is the same thing I've been telling everyone in Discord who's been asking. There's a couple of people, there are professional node operators like Breezy here. I've been telling him as well to just wait a minute. Wait until 1.4 is released. But there are some people who have been pressuring me and others on how to get it resolved ASAP. So if you want to, obviously I'm not telling people to release, a release candidate version on your production node. This is not what I'm advocating. It's just something that if you're interested, I run the JRPC hacking network. So I'm trying to get my hands on the latest tech news in the IoTeX ecosystem as soon as they are available. So this is something that I found, and it's actually possible to resolve the issue right now. And what the crucial part is that some people, while they might want to wait with upgrading their node to 1.8.4, this is actually not necessary. If you want to resolve the bug, you don't actually have to upgrade your node. You have to download the patch. You have to upgrade. You have to download the latest release candidate or the 1.8.4 once it's released, and then run the patch as it's described here, and then you can revert back to the 1.8.2. So it's a one-time patch that is not a hard fork, and it's just a small issue. I wanted to show you a live demo of it, but I prepared this code on a Linux computer. And I'm on a Windows now, so I was actually getting some errors that I can't execute a Linux binary. But anyway, so if there's anyone that is using the JRPC node operator solution, I'd also want to let you know that I incorporated the patch into this, so you can just apply the patch and it'll fix the problem, just like you could use the patch here. And of course, as Giuseppe and the Fixer are advocating, you don't have to do it right now. You can just wait a day or two, and an official announcement will be made how to do it. So this was just for the people who are interested in the technology, how the patch works. Basically, the issue happens when the IoTeX core can get into a certain state where it has to be patched, obviously. So there's this read tip little program that checks the height of your node. If it's stuck on that node, it patches it. It downloads this little patch from patch.iotex.io and puts it into the data folder of your IoTeX core node. And when you run the 1.8.4 node, it will suck up this patch. And then once the patch is applied, you can revert back to the old version of the IoTeX core if you want. So that's all from me. JRPC hacking network. Here I come, so to speak.
Awesome.
Great. With a little hint of music in the background, whatever it's coming from, but it was pleasant.
The Discord, Jeremy, Discord's minutes jingle.
Exactly. See, we said that we were gonna have one for you.
Yes.
Any other updates that you wanted to share before we wrap it up?
Well, that was the main pressure point that people were contacting us about. Some other less important topics was people asking about how to incorporate how to configure their node, how to run their projects. I want to congratulate Robert Fixer, aka Fixer, on their project development and successfully launching their delegate node. So
we are a fully transparent company. See, you get my full name. CEO of myJeenie, right here, Robert Wolf.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry.
CEO of myJeenie.
No, it's okay. My alias is Fixer, but yeah, Fixer.
I don't mean to dox you.
No, it's okay. It's right there.
Yeah.
Sweet. Awesome.
So,
well,
congratulations
guys,
once again.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, congrats, Robert. That was great. Well, guys, thank you. I mean, it's been quite an eventful episode. I thoroughly enjoyed the conversation with Robert. I enjoyed the Discord minutes with Jeremy, which actually brings me to a quick reminder. Just feel free to check out the developers portal if you want to find more technical content, tutorials, and we'll release the blog articles that's pertinent to what Jeremy was talking about, and I guess as soon as possible. So thank you guys very much for your time. Thanks everybody for watching. Thank you guys for the comments, and we'll be back in a couple of weeks' time, back on Wednesday for the next IoTeXperts live stream.
Awesome. Closing this out now. Ready? All right.
Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Bye.
Yeah.